I felt tired. I felt hopeless. I was unmotivated.
You're doomed.
You're nothing. What are you even doing? They deserve better. I deserve better.
You like feeling this way?
You're pathetic. You have nothing to do.
Yo, stop lying to yourself.
You don't love them. You don't even love yourself. All those feelings and emotions were real, but that's not the entire story on what drove me to lose weight. What's up, y'all, and welcome back. It's week 3. So as promised, I wanted to give you guys the story of how I started to lose weight. But I want to give you guys the full story. So some of this stuff isn't really easy for me to put out into the world. And honestly, I really debated if I wanted to show this. But I think it's very important so you guys really understand where I was, where it led me, and how I got out of it. So back over the years, I was already pretty big, fluctuating a lot in weight. And then in 2013, this happened. This was my father's funeral. He passed away in 2013, and it was something that was super devastating to my life. I didn't think it was going to have such a heavy effect on my mental health, but over the years, I finally realized that it really did take a toll on me. At some point, we're all gonna have to go through some type of grieving process. And I mentally thought that I could handle it. And I thought I did a pretty good job. But over that time, I just found myself really hiding, like being antisocial. Not completely, I would still go out and dance. I would still go out and see friends. But over the time, it slowly declined. I found myself playing video games. I found myself not going to practice as much. I found myself burying my head in work, whether that was UI design, music, or any other type of work that I had lined up for myself. But I just wasn't myself. And it was because of this. And to be honest, I thought I was dealing with it okay. So I was never diagnosed with depression, but if I analyze how I was and how my life went over the years, I think I was depressed and I had no idea. It even got to a point where my friends started to notice, and I got to catch up with one of them over the week, Alan, aka Kid Boogie, and this is what he had to say.
When I seen you at your, I want to say biggest, I was very concerned about your health. I first started noticing your skin change in your face, like your face started getting darker, started getting a little worse, than before. And I was worried, man. I was worried about your health. And I want to say this was around the time when you really started getting into music and streaming and stuff.
Yeah.
The transition went from us dancing every week to you coming around every other week. And then to you not even coming at all.
Yeah.
And me always trying to be like, yo, let's go dance, butter. Let's go do this, let's go do that. And I'm not gonna lie, man. Like every time you would tell me like, yo, bro, like, sorry, I can't do it. I have to stream music. I would take it as like an excuse for you just to be in your room doing nothing. Not nothing, but you could do that for this amount of hours and then come out.
Yeah, I think with that, it was like, honestly, I was trying to do more to grow music career and all that stuff. And I think the biggest thing when it comes to that is that I never made time for other passions like dance or being active, And I think that also played a role in my sedentary lifestyle over the years and got me not to where I was completely, but I was comfortable. So with what he said, and this is not an excuse, but just to kind of give you guys a little bit of an idea of how it led up to that, I think my grieving process forced me to stay busy, find activities like gaming, music, which I love that I found music over the time because that was actually a really dope creative outlet that I have. But if I'm being honest, I got sucked into work mode. And yes, I agree with him. There's parts of me that could be better at making time to be active, making time to go dance, and it started slowly becoming less. But because of the habits that I built during my grieving process, it wasn't the healthiest and it wasn't not the healthiest, I think it helped me with my grieving process, but it also led me down a path where I just wasn't balancing anything anymore. And it honestly got me into a very sedentary lifestyle. And at some point, I wanted to ask him why he never really said anything to me.
I want to tell you what's going on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want to fuck up my friendship with you,
Yeah.
So I resort to joking. Like I would tell you like, you don't fucking dance no more, bro. And you would be like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? And I'm like, bro, you never come out. You know what I mean? Like, so that would be my way of telling you like, bro, get the fuck up and come dance, come move.
What an asshole. No, I'm just kidding. This is a very sensitive subject for a lot of people, especially people who are obese and overweight. Nobody wants to hear it. It almost feels like an attack. But I know not many people are gonna mean it like that. And some people do mean it like that, which, I don't agree with some of the methods and approaches that some of you guys take. But in all honesty, I feel like some of this needs to be normalized where if your friend is messing up health-wise, career-wise, whatever it is, you should be that friend to tell them. I get it. Sometimes people just want to stay in their lane, but at the end of the day, is it better to tell them or is it being an enabler at that point? Actually, I want to see what you guys would say in the comments, so let me know. At the end of the day, I just want people to know that if you are where I was and somebody tells you, even if it's not the right way, try not to take it too personal, try not to let it get under your skin, but just know that they are saying something because there is some type of concern and that they're worried about you. All right, back to story time. So a little more than a year later after my father passed away, I adopted my first dog, Iris.
Peanut butter. Peanut butter.
This is a photo of Iris coming home for the very first time. She's the light that walked into our life after one of the darkest chapters we had to deal with.
Belle, Iris.
That other dog you see, that's Belle, Kid Boogie's dog. So after adopting Iris, I felt like she needed a buddy, and that's when I got Erin. This is the night that I brought home Erin. She wasn't super comfortable at first, but Iris helped her feel more at home. I remember that night when it was time to go to bed, Iris didn't want to come with me. She refused to leave Erin's side.
Erin. Ah. Go. Go.
Getting Iris and Erin was probably one of the best decisions I ever made, and it helped me fill up some of the void that I was feeling from when my father passed away. Not just for me, but also for my family. Having Iris and Erin was a true blessing. No matter how I felt, what emotions I was going through, they always showed me unconditional love. And around March, April of 2024, I started noticing things about Erin. One of Erin's most favorite things to do was play fetch. She loved it. She would always want to do it. And then I noticed one day, she didn't want to play. She just wanted to be inside the house. At first, I didn't think much of it. I just thought she didn't want to play. And over time, another thing that I noticed was she started to walk funny. It became to a point where my family and I got really concerned, and we took her to the vet. They took x-rays and they ruled out that she was diagnosed with spondylosis. From what I was told, spondylosis was a neurological disease that older dogs get. It's actually really common in German Shepherds, and it happens, throughout their age. And at this time, Erin was already about 10 years old. I didn't know this at the time, but German Shepherds only live till about 10 to 13 years. During the time when I found out she had spondylosis, I was a streamer. I was doing a lot of live streaming, and I did a fundraiser for her to get proper treatment, or at least what was affordable at the time. And I managed to raise some money to help pay for her meds, some of the vet visits, and also to help pay for her therapy. We put her on meds, and it seemed to kind of help. I gave her more exercise, and I tried to talk to a hydrotherapist. I tried to see if we can get her back legs moving. It almost felt like things were starting to get better, and then it didn't. It felt like everything just 180'd in a short period of time. It got to a point where her quality of life started drastically changing. She could no longer get up to eat, get up to drink, get up to use the bathroom on her own. She would always need assistance, which was really hard because I was always in and out of the house, and also there wasn't really anyone else to kind of watch her throughout the day and everything. So it made things very, very difficult. By her third visit, nothing was helping. I asked them if she was getting better. And at that point, the therapist pretty much gave me some news that I didn't really want to hear. So when I had that talk with the hydrotherapist, she gave me options. She told me I can try to go see higher treatment. But to be honest, that was gonna be very, very expensive, and that was something that I couldn't afford. She pretty much told me, while Erin is still herself, to let her go with dignity. And when she told me that, I started really breaking down because I just never thought that this type of day would come. At that time, I didn't feel like I was in the best position. I didn't know how to sustain this kind of thing, especially not having money, not being able to even reach the actual goal that I was asking for. So a lot of things were kind of running through my head at the time, which made me ultimately lead to, let's take that advice and say goodbye to her while she's still herself. So I planned this big day, and it was the day before my birthday, to take her to her favorite park where I used to walk her all the time. And just pretty much give her a day to remember.
Yeah. This is not fucking easy, man. Not easy at all. Yeah, I hope she's having an okay time. Eat your food. Eat it, baby.
And then that same night, gave her a big feast, let her go out with a bang, And then I was so heartbroken because I knew the time was coming really fast.
I want you to know, Erin, I fucking love you, okay? I fucking love you, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, okay? I fucking love you.
The day of, when I got her euthanized, was actually my birthday. And there's a lot of people saying oh man, that sucks. But honestly, I wasn't even thinking like that. I didn't care if it was my birthday. I just didn't want her to suffer anymore. And that day, I just wanted to make sure that I was by her side through the transition. I said my final goodbyes, made sure that I was by her side through each step, and was there till she passed. Love is scary and powerful. It can build you up, and when you lose it, it can break you in many ways you can't imagine. When my dad passed, when Erin passed, I didn't know what to do with all that pain, and I tried to fill up that space with anything that made the hurt feel quieter. That's how I slipped into bad habits, a sedentary lifestyle, and overall an unhealthy lifestyle. Not because I didn't care, but because I cared so deeply and didn't know where to put that love anymore. But that same love, that's scary, that's powerful, that's that love that pulled me out. I didn't want their memory tied to me suffering. I wanted it tied to me growing. I wanted to become a better version of myself that they believed I could be. So yeah, love is the reason why I got knocked down, but it's also the reason why I stood back up. Losing my dad and losing Aaron, it's still changing me in ways I'm still figuring out. But this is where everything shifted. And in the next part, I'll show you how all that love and all that pain was the start of my transformation. Until then, this is where my journey began. Peace. By the way, don't forget to support the channel by liking and subscribing. Okay, bye.